Picture a lighthouse standing resolute on a jagged cliff battered by relentless storms. Waves crash, winds howl, yet it remains a beacon slicing through the darkest chaos. You too are that lighthouse, but are you standing firm, or are you merely gazing at the horizon wishing for calmer seas? The mirage of hope, that seductive whisper, promising change without effort, has lured you into stillness. It tells you to wait for the perfect moment, the burst of inspiration, the magical shift. But here's the brutal truth: hope without action is a desert illusion, shimmering but empty. It will not guide you through the tempest. Only your habits, your steadfast routines will anchor you when the world rages. Welcome to the mirage of hope, the first step in a journey to forge your future. This isn't about dreams, it's about deeds. It's about understanding that your habits decide your destiny, not the fleeting warmth of your aspirations. You've lingered long enough in the comfort of someday. Today we tear down that illusion. Today we build something real. Feel the urgency in your chest. Are you ready to stop wishing and start becoming? Imagine yourself standing before a mirror, tracing the outline of a fitter, stronger body in your mind. You've dreamed of this for years, running marathons, lifting weights, feeling unstoppable. You buy the gear, the gym membership, the sleek water bottle. You tell yourself, tomorrow I'll start. Tomorrow I'll feel motivated. But tomorrow comes and the bed is warm, the excuses are plenty. I'm too tired, you mutter. I'll wait for the right mood. Weeks turn to months and the gear gathers dust in a corner. The mirror reflects the same unchanged image, and a quiet shame creeps in. You hope for transformation, but hope didn't lift a single weight. It didn't lace up your shoes. It didn't push you through the ache. This is the false comfort of hope without action. It's a soft pillow that lulls you into inaction, whispering that change will come when you're ready. But readiness is a myth. Motivation is a fickle guest arriving late or not at all. The lighthouse doesn't wait for clear skies to shine. It stands through the storm unwavering. Your lesson here is stark routines, not feelings, build your strength. Start small, 10 minutes of movement, one push-up, a single step. But start. Consistency is your beam of light cutting through the fog of doubt. As James Allen wrote in, "As a man thinketh." A man's mind may be likened to a garden, which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. Don't let your garden of effort overgrow with the weeds of delay. Plant the seed of habit today and water it daily. Now picture yourself as an aspiring writer, your mind brimming with stories, epic tales of adventure, heartbreak, and triumph. You see your name on a book cover, hear the praise of readers, feel the weight of a finished novel in your hands. Night after night, you sit with a blank page, waiting for the perfect opening line to strike like lightning. It's not good enough yet, you tell yourself. I need the right idea, the flawless start. Perfectionism chains you to your chair, and the page remains empty. Years slip by, and your novel is still just a ghost in your imagination. Hope painted a vivid picture, but it couldn't wield the pen. Here, the mirage of hope reveals its cruelest trick. It promises glory without grit. It convinces you that waiting for perfection is noble when it's merely fear in disguise. The lighthouse doesn't wait for the storm to sculpt its perfect form. It stands weathered and scarred, fulfilling its purpose. Your lesson is this: creation begins with imperfection. Write one messy sentence. Scribble a flawed paragraph. Let the first draft be a storm of errors, but let it exist. Habits daily writing, even for 10 minutes, will carve your story into reality. Hope alone will not. As Stephen King advised in On Writing, amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work. Stop waiting. Start crafting. Let's pause and dig deeper into this mirage of hope. It's a shimmering oasis in the desert of struggle, promising relief if you just hold on a little longer. But how many dreams have you buried under the weight of someday? How many times have you told yourself that tomorrow holds the key, only to find tomorrow as empty as today? Hope without action is a thief. It steals your time, your potential, your very essence, leaving you with nothing but regret as a bitter keepsake. It's not a friend. It's a shadow that mimics light but offers no warmth. Consider the lighthouse enduring storms. It doesn't dream of calmer seas or wish for gentler winds. It stands rooted in its purpose, shining through the chaos because that's what it was built to do. Your habits are that foundation. They are the bricks and mortar of your future, laid one day at a time, one choice at a time. Hope might sketch the blueprint, but only action builds the tower. Reflect on this: every moment you delay, you drift further from shore. The storm of life doesn't pause for your readiness, it rages on. Will you stand firm or will you be swept away by empty promises? Pain is not your enemy here. Inaction is. Pain is the wind that tests the lighthouse, the force that proves its strength. Embrace the discomfort of starting, the raw ache of persistence. It's in these moments that you forge yourself anew. Stop gazing at the horizon of what could be. Anchor yourself in the now, in the small, steady acts that defy the storm. There's a heaviness in carrying dreams you've never chased, isn't there? Each unstarted goal, each abandoned plan is a stone in your pack, slowing your stride. Hope without action turns aspiration into burden. It paints vivid pictures of a future you long for, but it never hands you the brush to create it. You become a spectator to your own life, watching from the sidelines as time erodes your vision. Why do you let this happen? What holds you back from stepping into the arena of effort? Think of your habits as a river cutting through stone. A single drop seems insignificant, yet over time it carves canyons of staggering depth. Hope might imagine the canyon, but only the steady drip of action forms it. The lighthouse, too, doesn't shine once and call it done. Its light pulses constant and unrelenting through every storm. Your future isn't shaped by a single grand gesture, but by the quiet, repeated choices you make when no one is watching. The gym session you didn't skip, the page you didn't leave blank, these are the beams that pierce the darkness. Understand this truth: unlived dreams don't just fade, they haunt. They whisper in quiet moments, reminding you of what you could have been. Don't let hope be your prison. Break free with action. Let your habits be the key that unlocks the life you've envisioned, not the life you've merely wished for. So how do you escape the mirage of hope? How do you transform fleeting wishes into tangible results? Start by building your beacon, your daily habits. When the temptation to wait for the right moment strikes, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is one small step I can take right now? If it's fitness, put on your shoes and walk for 5 minutes. If it's writing, type one sentence, no matter how rough. That single act is your light piercing the fog. It's proof that you're not waiting, you're moving. Commit to a routine, however small. Set a non-negotiable time each day for your craft or goal. Protect it like a sacred flame. Track your progress, not for perfection, but for persistence. Did you show up today? That's the victory. As Atomic Habits author James Clear reminds us, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Vote for action over delay. Vote for habit over hope. When doubt creeps in, return to your beacon. Let it guide you through the storm of excuses. One step, one day, one choice at a time, you're building a future that hope alone could never deliver. When the mirage of hope tempts you to procrastinate, face the storm head on. Don't hide from discomfort. Seek it out. Identify the task you've been avoiding and break it into its smallest piece. Afraid to start exercising? Commit to one squat. Dreading the blank page? Write one word. Momentum is your ally. That tiny action sparks a chain reaction, pulling you forward before hope can whisper its lies again. Create a trigger, a cue that signals it's time to act. Pair your habit with something you already do. Drink coffee. Write a sentence after your first sip. Brush your teeth. Do a push-up right after. Tie your new routine to an existing anchor and let it become as automatic as breathing. And when you falter because don't dwell in the mud of guilt. Stand up, reset, shine again. The lighthouse doesn't crumble after one fierce wave. It endures. So must you. Keep showing up even when the storm of doubt rages. Your habits are your strength, not your fleeting aspirations. You've walked through the mirage of hope and seen its deception laid bare. Hope without action is a hollow promise, a shimmering illusion that fades when tested by the storms of life. It cannot build your body, write your story, or shape your future. Only your habits, those steady, relentless routines, can stand as your lighthouse, guiding you through chaos. You've learned the bitter cost of waiting, the weight of unlived dreams, and the power of small, consistent steps. The key lesson is clear: your future is not a gift of hope, it's a creation of habit. As we move forward, prepare to dive deeper into the forge of discipline, where habits are hammered into unbreakable steel. But for now, hold this truth close. Let it be your guide when the mirage beckons. Stand tall, shine bright, and act now. Your future awaits not in wishes, but in works. Final mantra. Be the lighthouse. Stand firm. Shine through every storm. Picture this: a lone builder cloaked in the gray of dawn, stacks bricks in the shadow of a forgotten alley. No crowd cheers, no spotlight shines, yet each brick, small, unremarkable, builds something towering, something eternal. You are that builder. Every choice, every fleeting moment you seize or squander is a brick in the edifice of your future. The world may not see it now, but unseen habits create towering futures, not empty promises. Your grand intentions, those shimmering hopes you whisper to yourself at night, mean nothing without the quiet, relentless work of today. Welcome to the weight of small choices. In this journey, we strip away the illusion that dreams alone will carry you forward. Your habits decide your future, not your hopes. You might crave instant triumph, but it's the mundane, the repetitive, the unseen that forges your path. Feel the urgency. Every second is a brick. Will you stack it with purpose or let it crumble in distraction? Let's uncover how the tiniest decisions, those you barely notice, build or break the life you long for. Rise now. The shadow awaits your hands. Imagine yourself as a student drowning in a sea of textbooks and deadlines. The subject, let's say mathematics, feels like a mountain with no summit in sight. Your classmates groan, skip study sessions, and chase quick fixes like last-minute cramming. But you choose differently. Every evening after the day's chaos, you carve out 20 minutes. Just 20. You review your notes, solve one extra problem, trace the logic of a theorem. It's tedious. Your friends laugh, calling it a waste when exams are weeks away. Yet night after night, you return to your desk. You stack your bricks in shadow. Weeks turn to months. The mountain doesn't shrink, but your footing grows surer. Concepts that once baffled you now unfold like a map in your mind. Exam day arrives. While others scramble pale with panic, you walk in steady, armed with quiet mastery. The results come, your name sits at the top. No fanfare, no parade, just the weight of small choices bearing fruit. You didn't hope for understanding, you build it minute by minute. This is the builder's truth. Unseen habits create towering futures, not empty promises. That 20 minutes wasn't glamorous, but it was a brick. Each day you placed it with intention, and now a fortress of knowledge stands where doubt once loomed. The takeaway is clear: success isn't born in a burst of inspiration, it's sculpted in the shadows of daily discipline. Now, shift the scene. You're a professional early in your career, hungry to climb. A new skill, say digital marketing, beckons as the key to your next leap. You dream of promotions, of standing out. But after long work days, exhaustion tugs at you. Instead of learning, you reach for your phone. Social media scrolls endlessly, memes, videos, fleeting laughs. Just 5 minutes, you tell yourself. 5 becomes 50. Nights blend into weeks, weeks into years. You're still dreaming, still hoping, but your hands are empty. One day, a colleague, someone who started alongside you, gets the promotion you craved. You overhear they spent evenings mastering that skill you ignored. Their portfolio gleams with projects. Yours is a blank page. The sting hits hard. Where did the time go? You look back and see a trail of wasted hours, bricks you could have stacked but tossed aside for fleeting comfort. The weight of small choices crushes you now. You didn't build, you scrolled. Yet even in this pain, there's a lesson. Unseen habits or their absence create towering futures, not empty promises. You can't reclaim lost years, but you can start now. One brick, one choice can shift everything. The takeaway echoes your daily actions, not your distant hopes. Write your story. Will you keep scrolling or will you build? Let's pause and dig deeper. Why do small choices carry such weight? Consider the builder in shadow, stacking bricks while the world sleeps. Each brick seems insignificant, hardly worth the effort when no one watches. Yet over time, those bricks form a cathedral, a monument that defies storms and centuries. Your life is no different. Every habit, every quiet decision to act or avoid is a brick in your own cathedral. Hopes are the blueprint, yes, but without hands to build, they're just paper in the wind. Think about it. How many times have you crafted grand plans only to let them dissolve in the face of distraction? How many visions have you abandoned for the lure of instant ease? The truth is raw, painful even. Your future isn't shaped by what you intend to do tomorrow. It's forged by what you do in this very moment. Pain isn't your enemy here. It's the mortar binding your bricks. Embrace it. The struggle of choosing discipline over comfort is the fire that tempers your resolve. Unseen habits create towering futures, not empty promises. You don't need applause to stack your bricks. You don't need permission. The shadow is your sanctuary, the place where real growth roots deep away from prying eyes. So stand there. Build there. Let the world marvel later when your cathedral pierces the sky. Imagine your life as a river carving its way through stone. Hopes are the rain that falls, beautiful, fleeting, promising life. But it's the steady flow, the persistent current of habit that shapes the canyon. A single downpour of inspiration won't alter the landscape. Only the daily grind of water against rock creates depth, beauty, permanence. Your small choices are that current. They don't dazzle, but they endure. They transform. Have you ever stopped to count the hours you've lost to mindless habits, or the strength you've gained from the ones you've nurtured? The river doesn't rush to its destination. It moves with quiet power, cutting deeper each day. So must you. A habit, whether it lifts or sinks, you compounds over time. 20 minutes of study becomes mastery. 20 minutes of scrolling becomes regret. You choose the current. You shape the canyon. As Jim Rohn once said, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Unseen habits create towering futures, not empty promises. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start building. The river flows now. Dip your hands in. Let your choices carve a path so profound that even time itself stands in awe. Let's get practical. You feel the weight of small choices, but where do you start? Begin with one habit, one brick. Identify a single area where you want to grow, be it learning a skill, improving health, or sharpening focus. Commit to a tiny action, not an hour, not a marathon, just 10 or 20 minutes a day. If it's studying, review one page. If it's fitness, take a short walk. Make it so small it feels absurd to skip. Track it. Mark a calendar or journal each day you follow through. This isn't just accountability, it's a mirror to your progress. Watch those marks multiply. When distraction tempts you, and it will pause. Ask yourself, am I building my cathedral or crumbling it? That question anchors you. One brick at a time you rise. Remember, unseen habits create towering futures. No one sees his first step, but you feel its weight. Stack it anyway. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, do not wait, the time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command. Start now, your shadow awaits. Distraction is the thief of your bricks. It's subtle, creeping in as just one more episode or I'll start tomorrow. Guard against this drift with intention. Set boundaries. If social media steals your time, limit it to a fixed window, say 10 minutes after dinner. Use tools like app blockers if your willpower wavers. Replace the void with a building habit. Swap scrolling for reading a chapter, sketching a plan, or stretching your mind. When doubt strikes, anchor yourself with a reminder. Write down one reason you're building this habit. Keep it visible on your desk, your phone, your mirror. Read it when the drift pulls. Ask, will this choice strengthen my foundation or crack it? Small choices compound. Guard them fiercely. Unseen habits create towering futures, not empty promises. Protect your shadow. Build within it. Let's reflect one last time. Habits are a forge, and repetition is the hammer. Each swing, each choice to act, shapes the raw iron of your potential into something unbreakable. It's not glamorous. The forge is hot, the work grueling. Sweat stings your eyes as you repeat the same motion day after day. But without this, there's no blade, no strength, no future. Hopes can't wield a hammer. Only habits can. Have you ever wondered why some rise while others stagnate? It's not talent, not luck, it's the forge. The quiet, relentless repetition of small choices. You don't see the blade forming until it's sharp enough to cut through any obstacle. So swing the hammer, stack the brick. Trust the process even when the heat feels unbearable. As Tony Robbins often says, it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives. It's what we do consistently, Unseen habits create towering futures, not empty promises. Keep forging, your edge is coming. Look back at the ground you've covered. You've seen the student stack bricks of discipline crafting mastery in shadow. You've felt the professional's regret, the ache of bricks unplaced. You've stood in the forge of repetition, carved canyons with the river of habit, and guarded your choices against the drift of distraction. The weight of small choices is undeniable now. Your habits decide your future, not your hopes. Success isn't a gift dropped from the sky. It's a cathedral built in silence, brick by unseen brick. The takeaway burns bright daily discipline, not fleeting dreams, constructs the life you crave. You don't need to see the full structure yet. Trust that each small choice, each quiet effort adds height to your tower. The world may not notice now, but it will marvel later. Keep building even when the shadow feels lonely. Your future is waiting to rise. As we move forward, prepare to explore how to sustain this momentum, how to turn bricks into unshakable foundations. For now, hold this truth close. Stack with purpose. Build with grit. Final mantra: stack your brick today. Your cathedral will stand tomorrow. Picture a river, relentless and unyielding, carving its way through a rugged valley. It doesn't rush with reckless abandon, nor does it falter at the first sign of resistance. Drop by drop, current by current, it shapes the earth, forging a path that lasts through centuries. Now look at your life. Are you the river, steadfast in your flow, or are you swept away by the fleeting whims of distraction? In this battle against the pull of instant gratification, your habits, not your hopes, decide the depth of the valley you'll carve. This is the fight of your future, and it begins with a single choice: to stay the course or to drift. Welcome to the heart of a truth that burns. Your future isn't built on fleeting dreams or bursts of inspiration. It's sculpted by the quiet, consistent actions you take when no one's watching. In this section, The Battle Against Distraction, we confront the seductive lure of the immediate, those shiny diversions that promise relief but deliver regret. You've felt it, haven't you? The urge to scroll, to procrastinate, to choose comfort over commitment. But here we'll forge a new path. We'll dive into the struggle of resisting temptation, of prioritizing the long term over the fleeting, and we'll emerge stronger. Let's walk this journey together, you and I, and uncover how to wield your habits like a river shapes stone, unstoppable, enduring, eternal. Imagine yourself as a freelancer sitting at your desk, a deadline looming like a storm on the horizon. Your inbox pings with a client's urgent request, a project that could open doors, a chance to build your name. But the screen of your laptop isn't glowing with spreadsheets or drafts. Instead, it's alive with the flickering colors of a streaming service, a new show pulling you in episode after episode. Just one more, you tell yourself, as the clock ticks past midnight. The deadline slips through your fingers like sand, and with it the opportunity. The client moves on, your reputation takes a hit, and you're left with nothing but the hollow aftertaste of wasted hours. You've traded your future for a fleeting escape, and the weight of that choice crushes you. But what if you had paused? What if in that moment of weakness you had shut the laptop, silenced the notifications, and turned back to the work that mattered? The river doesn't stop at the first boulder in its path. It flows around, over, under, until the obstacle is worn away. Your habits are that current. They don't demand perfection, they demand persistence. The lesson here is clear. Every time you choose distraction over discipline, you erode the path to your potential. But every time you resist, you carve deeper into the valley of your future. As we'll see, the battle against instant gratification isn't won in grand gestures. It's won in the quiet moments when you choose to keep flowing. Now picture yourself as a parent coming home after a grueling day at work. Your phone buzzes incessantly with emails, urgent tasks, unanswered questions, a boss expecting replies. But across the room, your child looks up from a drawing, eyes wide with hope, asking for just 10 minutes of your time. The pull of work is strong. It promises security, recognition, a pat on the back. Yet you feel the deeper call. You silence the phone, sit down on the floor, and dive into a world of crayons and laughter. Night after night, you make this choice. You build a ritual, a habit of presence, and over time, you see the bond with your child grow, a connection stronger than any promotion or paycheck. This isn't just about family, it's about the power of prioritizing what lasts. Work emails fade into the noise of yesterday, but the trust and love you nurture endure like a valley carved by a river's steady flow. You didn't hope for a better relationship. You build it one intentional moment at a time. The lesson echoes instant gratification, answering that email, chasing that fleeting approval can't compare to the legacy of consistent, meaningful action. Your habits shape what matters most, not the distractions that scream for your attention. Let's pause and look within. How often have you traded the hard path for the easy escape? How many dreams have you buried under the weight of just one more scroll, one more episode, one more excuse? The pull of instant gratification is a siren song, luring you to crash against the rocks of regret. It whispers that happiness lies in the now, in the quick fix, in the dopamine rush of a notification or a mindless distraction. But here's the truth: the now is a thief. It steals from your tomorrow, leaving you empty-handed when the future arrives. Think of your life as a river shaping a valley. A single drop doesn't transform the landscape. It's the unrelenting flow, day after day, that cuts through stone. Distraction is a dam blocking your progress, diverting your energy into shallow puddles that evaporate under the sun. But when you choose discipline over diversion, you become that river, persistent, powerful, purposeful. You don't need to feel inspired every day. You just need to show up. The valley of your future isn't formed by fleeting hopes or bursts of effort. It's carved by the habits you protect even when the world tempts you to stray. So ask yourself, are you building a dam of distraction, or are you flowing with intention? Every choice you make is a pebble in the riverbed of your life. Alone it seems insignificant, watching a video instead of working, skipping a workout for a nap, scrolling through social media instead of reading a book. But pile enough pebbles together and they alter the current. They redirect your path, turning a mighty river into a stagnant pool. The battle against distraction isn't fought in epic showdowns. It's waged in the quiet corners of your day, in the split-second decisions that define who you become. Consider the valley once more. It wasn't shaped by a single flood, but by the steady, patient work of water over eons. Your habits are that water. They don't dazzle or demand applause. They simply endure. And in their endurance, they create something eternal. Napoleon Hill once said, "Strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle." Distraction is the avoidance of struggle. It's the refusal to carry the weight of small, consistent choices. But when you embrace that weight, when you choose the harder path, you forge a future that stands the test of time. So what will you choose today? A pebble of distraction or a current of commitment? Let's get practical. The battle against distraction starts with a shield, your ability to guard your focus. First, identify your triggers. What pulls you away from your priorities? Is it the endless scroll of social media? The temptation of a streaming binge? Write them down. Seeing your enemies on paper strips them of their power. Next, create barriers. If your phone is the culprit, place it in another room while you work. If notifications derail, you turn them off for set hours. Replace the habit of distraction with a habit of intention. Swap mindless scrolling for a 5-minute walk or a quick journal entry. Finally, anchor yourself with a reminder. Keep a small token on your desk, a stone, a photo, a note that represents your long-term goal. When temptation strikes, touch it, look at it, let it ground you. As James Clear reminds us in Atomic Habits, you don't have to be the victim of your environment. You can also be the architect of it. Build an environment that supports your flow, not your drift. These steps aren't glamorous, but they're the current that keeps your river moving. Start small, stay steady, and watch how your valley takes shape. Here's another tool to wield in this battle: micro-commitments. Distraction thrives when your goals feel overwhelming, when the mountain of work or the depth of change seems too vast to conquer. Break it down. Commit to just 5 minutes of focused action. Tell yourself, I'll write 1 paragraph or I'll read 1 page. Often starting is the hardest part, and once you begin, the momentum carries you forward. Set a timer if you must. Limit your exposure to distractions by promising yourself a reward after your micro-commitment, perhaps a quick break or a favorite song. But here's the key: honor your word to yourself. Each time you follow through, you strengthen the current of your habits. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than the pull of the immediate. Over time, these tiny victories stack up, carving a path deeper than any fleeting hope could ever reach. Remember, the river doesn't carve a valley in a day. It flows moment by moment until the impossible becomes inevitable. Let's step back and gaze at the horizon of your life. What do you want to leave behind? A trail of half-finished dreams scattered by distraction, or a valley so deep, so profound, that it stands as a testament to your resolve? The battle against instant gratification isn't just about today's tasks or tomorrow's goals. It's about the legacy of your choices. Every time you resist the easy path, you're not just building a habit, you're building a monument to your strength. Think of your life as a forge where habits are the hammer and distraction is the rust that corrodes your blade. Each swing of discipline sharpens you, shapes you, makes you unbreakable. But each surrender to temptation dulls your edge. Tony Robbins once declared, "It's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped." Every moment you choose to flow like a river, steady, relentless, undeterred, you shape a destiny worth remembering. So what will your legacy be? Will you be a fleeting ripple lost to the wind or a force that reshapes the earth? In this battle against distraction, we've walked through the fire of temptation and emerged with a truth that cannot be shaken. Your habits, not your hopes, decide the future you'll inhabit. We've seen the freelancer falter under the weight of instant gratification only to learn that persistence carves a lasting path. We've witnessed the parent choose presence over pressure, building bonds that endure like stone. And through reflection, we've uncovered that the river of your life, your consistent action, shapes valleys no fleeting dream could ever touch. The key lesson resonates: mastering the pull of distraction is the cornerstone of a future forged by intention. As you move forward, carry this with you. The battle isn't over. It rages in every choice, every moment. But you are stronger than the lure of the immediate. You are the river, unyielding and unstoppable. Let this be your guide as we prepare to explore the next step in sculpting your destiny, transforming habits into systems that sustain your greatness. Until then, hold fast to this truth and let it fuel your flow. Final mantra: flow relentlessly, your valley awaits. Picture a blacksmith's forge, the air thick with heat, the clang of hammer on iron echoing like a heartbeat. Sparks fly as raw metal bends, reshapes, and hardens under relentless strikes. This is you, raw potential in the fire of life, waiting to be forged into something unbreakable. But the hammer doesn't swing itself. The question burns: are you ready to wield it? Are you ready to strike day after day until your habits carve a future stronger than any fleeting hope? Welcome to the heart of transformation. In the grand narrative of your habits decide your future, not your hopes, we now stand at the anvil of action. This section, Forging Unbreakable Routines, isn't about dreaming of what could be. It's about the practical, gritty work of building habits that align with your true vision. It's about understanding that hopes are mere whispers until your daily choices turn them into thunder. You're here to learn how to shape your days, to hammer out routines that withstand the storms of doubt and distraction. Feel the weight of the hammer in your hand. Let's forge something enduring. Imagine yourself as a worker drowning in the chaos of endless tasks. Your days blur into nights, emails, deadlines, and a mind that won't quiet. You're running on fumes, hoping for a breakthrough, a moment of peace, but it never comes. The weight of it all presses down like a mountain, and you wonder if this is all there is. Then one day you decide to reclaim a sliver of time. You set your alarm 30 minutes earlier. The world is still asleep, the silence almost sacred. You sit cross-legged on the floor and breathe. Meditation isn't magic, it's awkward at first. Your thoughts race, your back aches, but you return the next day, and the next. Weeks pass and something shifts. That half hour becomes your sanctuary, a forge where clarity is hammered into being. You notice the chaos of the day doesn't rattle you as much. Decisions feel sharper, as if the fog has lifted. You're not just surviving, you're steering. This small act, this daily strike of the hammer, transforms raw exhaustion into tempered strength. As the blacksmith shapes iron with steady blows, so too do you shape your mind with this routine. The lesson is clear: small, consistent efforts carve paths through mountains of overwhelm. You don't need grand gestures, just the will to show up again and again. Now see yourself as an artist staring at a blank page, the weight of creative block heavier than any stone. Ideas used to flow like a river, but now they're dammed up by self-doubt. You hope for inspiration to strike like lightning, but days turn to weeks and the canvas remains empty. Frustration burns hot. Why can't you create? Then you make a pact with yourself, one sketch, one idea every single day. No masterpieces, no pressure, just a line, a shape, a thought captured. At first it feels futile. Your sketches are rough, uninspired, but you keep going. Day after day you show up pencil in hand. Slowly the dam cracks. One sketch sparks a concept, another unlocks a memory. The habit becomes your hammer, each stroke forging a bridge back to your creativity. Months later, you look at a stack of pages, hundreds of ideas, some terrible, many brilliant. You've built a reservoir of potential, not through hope, but through repetition. Like the blacksmith who turns brittle iron into a blade, your daily commitment sharpens your craft. The takeaway shines bright habits, not fleeting inspiration, build the foundation of mastery. You don't wait for the muse, you summon it with your unwavering effort. Step back and consider the nature of your journey. Building habits that align with your true vision is not a gentle stroll along a meadow. It's a descent into the forge where heat and pressure test your resolve. Every day you face the raw iron of your potential, unshaped, rough, and resistant. Will you let it lie dormant, hoping for a miracle? Or will you grip the hammer of discipline and strike even when the sparks of discomfort sting? How many times have you delayed your own forging, waiting for the perfect moment that never arrives? Think of your habits as the steady rhythm of the blacksmith's arm. Each choice, each small act is a blow that shapes who you become. The iron doesn't care about your dreams, it yields only to persistence. So too does your future bend not to your hopes, but to the routines you build. Pain is not your enemy in this forge. It's the heat that tempers you. Fatigue, doubt, distraction. These are the impurities burned away by your commitment. Remember, a blade isn't born in a single strike. It's the 1,000 unseen blows that craft its edge. Your vision demands the same patience. Embrace the grind, for it's in the daily forging that you become unbreakable. Let's delve deeper. Why do we so often underestimate the power of small, consistent actions? Is it because they lack the drama of grand gestures, the allure of instant victory? Look at the blacksmith at work. Each strike seems insignificant, a mere dent in the iron. Yet over hours, days, lifetimes, those dents become a masterpiece. So it is with your habits. A single morning of meditation, a lone sketch, a solitary step forward, they seem trivial in isolation. But stack them, layer them, and they build cathedrals of change. Your hopes are like the wind, intangible, fleeting, unable to carve stone. Habits, though, are the river that wears down mountains over time. They are the quiet force that reshapes your life while you're busy doubting their impact. Ask yourself, how many towers of potential have you abandoned because the first brick felt too heavy? The truth is, greatness isn't a sudden leap. It's the accumulation of tiny, deliberate strikes. As Jim Rohn once said, success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. So wield your hammer. Trust the process. Your future is forged one small blow at a time. Now let's turn philosophy into action. Building habits that align with your vision starts with a single intentional choice. First, identify one area of your life begging for transformation, be it your health, creativity, or peace of mind. Pinpoint a small, achievable routine to address it. If it's clarity you seek, commit to 5 minutes of journaling each morning. If it's growth, read 10 pages of a book each night. Smallness is your ally here. It disarms resistance. Next, anchor this habit to an existing trigger in your day. Pair your journaling with your morning coffee, your reading with bedtime. This tether makes the new action feel inevitable, not forced. Then track your progress. Mark each day you show up on a calendar, a visual forge of your consistency. When doubt creeps in, pause. Ask yourself, am I one strike away from a breakthrough? Remember, the blacksmith doesn't stop when the iron resists, he strikes harder. So must you. Miss a day, don't despair. Return to the anvil tomorrow. The iron waits for no one, but it always yields to persistence. Sustaining habits requires vigilance. Life will test your routines with distractions, emergencies, and whispers of not today. Guard your forge fiercely. Start by setting boundaries, carve out non-negotiable time for your habit, even if it's just 10 minutes. Tell yourself, this is my strike. Nothing steals it. If mornings are your meditation window, silence your phone. If evenings are for writing, let the world wait. Anticipate obstacles and plan your counterstrike. If travel disrupts your routine, pack a notebook for quick reflections or use a meditation app on the go. When motivation wanes, recall your vision, the life you're forging. As Atomic Habits author James Clear advises, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. Design your environment to support your habit, keep your tools visible, your space ready, and celebrate each strike no matter how small. Acknowledge the sweat, the effort, the shaping. You're not just building a habit, you're building yourself. Protect that process with the ferocity of a blacksmith defending his craft. Finally, let's reflect on time itself, your most precious iron to shape. Every day hands you a raw slab of 24 hours, unformed and neutral. Hopes alone won't mold it into meaning. Only your habits can. How often have you let time slip through your fingers, chasing fleeting distractions while your vision rusts? The blacksmith knows that iron cools quickly delay too long, and it hardens in the wrong shape. So too does your day solidify into wasted potential if you don't act. Consider this: every habit you build is a promise to your future self. Each strike today echoes into tomorrow, crafting a life of strength or regret. As Stephen Covey wrote in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. Your routines are the seeds of your destiny planted in the soil of time. Water them daily. Strike while the iron is hot. Don't let hope be your only tool. Let habit be your hammer, forging a future that endures. As we step away from the forge, let the heat of these lessons linger. You've seen how a worker's quiet mornings and an artist's daily lines transform chaos into clarity, block into brilliance. You've felt the weight of discipline, the power of small strikes, and the urgency of time. The takeaway of forging unbreakable routines is this: takeaway. Habits are not mere actions. They are the hammer that shapes your raw potential into unbreakable strength. Your future isn't a distant dream to hope for. It's a reality you build strike by strike, day by day. Hold this image close: the blacksmith, unwavering, turning formless iron into a blade of purpose. You are that craftsman. Your habits are your tools, your vision, the blueprint. Keep forging, even when the sparks fly, even when the iron resists. The next section awaits, where we'll explore how to wield these routines against the storms of adversity. Until then, let this mantra be your rhythm, your resolve. Final mantra: strike daily. Your strength is forged in the fire. Picture a barren field under a relentless sun, cracked and lifeless, stretching endlessly before you. Not a seed, not a sprout, only the weight of impossibility. Yet in your hands you hold a simple tool and a stubborn will. Can you transform this desolation into a harvest of abundance? The answer lies not in fleeting hopes or whispered dreams, but in the quiet, repeated act of tending the soil. Welcome to the harvest of discipline, where we celebrate the undeniable truth: your habits decide your future, not your hopes. You are the farmer of your life, and every small, deliberate effort plants the seeds of transformation. Feel the weight of that responsibility and the power it grants you. Today, we revel in the long-term impact of discipline, the slow burn of consistency that turns barren ground into a thriving legacy. Let's walk this field together and uncover the riches buried in your daily grind. Imagine yourself as a young dreamer launching a business from a cramped apartment. The world laughs at your shaky start, clients are scarce, funds are dwindling, and every rejection stings like a whip. You could have surrendered to despair, chasing quick fixes or hollow promises of overnight success. Instead, you chose the harder path. Every morning you woke at dawn, crafting emails, refining your pitch, studying your craft. Every night you reviewed your failures, not to mourn them, but to forge them into lessons. Years of this quiet hustle, unseen, uncelebrated, felt like tilling barren soil with bleeding hands. But then the first green shoots appeared: a loyal client, a breakthrough deal. Now, standing at the helm of a thriving enterprise, you look back at that desolate start. Your business isn't built on hope, it's rooted in the habits you refuse to break. Like a farmer who turns cracked earth into a golden field, your daily discipline yielded a harvest no fleeting wish could match. The lesson is clear: small, repeated efforts, those unnoticed hours, transform desolation into abundance. You didn't just dream of success, you planted it day by day. Now see yourself as someone hungry for growth, yet starting from nothing. You're not a natural genius. Your mind doesn't grasp concepts instantly, but you commit to daily learning, 10 pages of a book, one new skill, a single problem solved. Friends mock your slow pace. Distractions tempt you with instant gratification. Yet you sit at your desk night after night, wrestling with ideas until they submit. It's tedious, like scattering seeds on stubborn ground, unsure if anything will grow. Years pass and suddenly you're not the same person. You speak with authority, solve challenges with ease, and inspire others with a mind sharpened by relentless study. Looking back, you see a life reshaped by knowledge, a harvest of skill and wisdom where once there was only doubt. As Jim Rohn once said, formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Your fortune wasn't hoped for. It was cultivated through the habit of learning one quiet seed at a time. Like the farmer who trusts the process, your small efforts turn barren potential into a flourishing reality. Let's pause and dig deeper. What is this barren soil within you? It's the untouched potential, the dreams you've neglected, the goals you've abandoned for fleeting comforts. You've hoped for change, prayed for it even, but hope alone doesn't break ground. It's discipline, the steady hand that turns the earth of your soul, that brings life to what once seemed dead. Think of your habits as the farmer's tools. Each choice to act, to persist, to endure, is a stroke against the hard crust of doubt. How many times have you walked away from a field half-tilled, convinced nothing would grow? And yet history whispers a truth. The greatest transformations, personal, communal, eternal, were born from repeated effort, not sudden miracles. Your life is a landscape waiting for your touch. Will you tend it even when the sun burns and the ground resists? Discipline isn't punishment, it's promise. It's the vow that every seed you plant today will feed you tomorrow. So stand in your field. Feel the weight of your work. Know that abundance isn't a gift, it's a harvest. Consider the farmer who rises before dawn, not for glory, but for necessity. Each seed sown, each weed pulled, casts a shadow longer than the day itself. So it is with your habits. The small acts, writing one page, running 1 mile, saving $1, seem insignificant against the vast horizon of your ambitions. But they compound like rivulets merging into a mighty river, carving paths through stone. Why do you underestimate these moments? Why do you seek the thunderstorm of instant success when it's the steady drizzle of discipline that nourishes the earth? As Stephen Covey wrote in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. Your destiny isn't shaped by a single heroic leap. It's forged in the quiet repetition of small, brave choices. Look at your life as a field under cultivation. Every habit is a seed, and time is the sun that ripens it. Trust the process. The harvest of discipline is not just abundance, it's a legacy. Now let's ground this in action. You want transformation? Start with your day. Choose one habit, something small but vital, and commit to it relentlessly. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier to plan your goals or writing down 3 tasks to conquer before noon. Treat this habit like a farmer treats a fragile seedling. Protect it, nurture it, give it space to root. When distractions pull you away, pause. Ask yourself, am I abandoning my field for a mirage of ease? Write down one reason to keep going and let it anchor you. Track your progress, mark each day you follow through. A simple check on a calendar becomes a map of your discipline, proof that barren ground is turning fertile. Remember, consistency trumps intensity. It's not about tilling the entire field in one furious day. It's about showing up hoe in hand every single morning. Your future isn't a distant dream. It's in the dirt you work today. Here's another step to secure your harvest. Doubt and procrastination are weeds that choke your progress. They creep in silently, whispering that your efforts are futile, that abundance is for others. When they strike, don't ignore them, confront them. Take 5 minutes to breathe and reflect. List one small victory from your past, a time when persistence paid off. Let it remind you that growth is possible. Then act immediately, even if it's a tiny step. Send that email, read that page, take that walk. Action is the herbicide to doubt. Surround yourself with reminders of your purpose, notes, quotes, or images that spark your resolve. As Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. But belief alone isn't enough. Pair it with daily effort. Guard your field. Pull the weeds before they spread. Your habits are the fence that keeps your harvest safe. Finally, let's bask in the reward of discipline. There's a quiet joy in seeing the first fruits of your labor, a project completed, a skill mastered, a life rebuilt. It's not just the result that satisfies, it's the knowledge that you earned it through grit and grind. The farmer doesn't dance when the seeds are planted. He celebrates when the crop stands tall, a testament to months of unseen toil. So it is with you. Every habit you've nurtured is a stalk of wheat bending in the wind, proof that desolation can become plenty. Have you ever stopped to honor your own harvest? Take a moment now. Look at where you stand compared to where you started. See the abundance not as luck, but as the direct result of your hands shaping the soil of your days. Discipline is your dance with time, a slow, deliberate rhythm that turns scarcity into surplus. Revel in it. You are not just surviving, you are thriving. As we close this chapter of the harvest of discipline, let's gather the wisdom we've sown. Your habits, not your hopes, decide your future. The transformation you seek, the long-term impact you crave, comes from the daily choice to tend your field, to plant even when the ground seems unyielding. Whether you're the entrepreneur who built an empire from nothing or the learner who reshaped their mind through quiet study, the lesson remains small. Repeated efforts transform desolation into abundance. You've seen it in stories, felt it in reflections, and armed yourself with steps to act. The harvest is yours to claim, but only if you keep working the soil. As we move forward, prepare to face new challenges, knowing that discipline is your greatest tool. Stand tall in your field. The abundance you've created is just the beginning. Final mantra: keep tending. Your harvest is proof of your power.